Why does it feel like all of a sudden Wednesday and Thursdays are the two prime days we have to release information about video games? And not just video games, but video game movies like Mario Galaxy, the whole trailer around that and the announcement of 2 new voice actors, and everybody's angry over Brie Larson being a voice actor, I guess because she's a girl. Then we have Valve releasing 3 new pieces of hardware, 2 of which are PCs, and one of those PCs is inside a VR headset. All on a Wednesday and Thursday, like, okay, fair enough, I guess. And now we have even more news from Nintendo on Pokopia. Pokopia. Okay, I have to say this. I have to start the video like this. The name's bad. I don't know how else to say it. It's not even called Pokopia. It's called Pokemon Pokopia. Pokopia. I don't know. Normally Pokemon games are poke, right? P-O-K-E and then something. But no, this is just P-O-K and then it goes into the O and it's like, okay, Pokemon, Pokopia, Pokemon, Pokopia, Pokemon Photocopier, Pokemon, Am I having a stroke? Pokopia, that's right, okay. Pokemon Pokopia, cool. And we have, no one's watching anymore. We have new news on that, a new trailer, and this game just looks really weird, as it originally did when it was first revealed. The game looks so strange. When it was first revealed, we obviously saw us as a Ditto replicating a trainer that I guess is implied to be dead. I don't know, maybe we'll see them at the end of the game. Not in heaven, but maybe they are still alive. And we're playing as this weird Ditto who has the ability to take on powers of local Pokemon, and it just looks so strange. When I first saw this, I thought it was going to be a mobile game, but apparently not. It's a fully fledged game, and apparently it's rumored that this game will have, and has had, more development time than the next new Pokemon games that will be Gen 10. And it kind of, you know, I don't want to say it looks like that so far, but I don't know, like Game Freak teaming up with another developer is quite promising. I'm quite excited about this, to be honest. And this trailer gave us a lot. Or, well, it did, but it also held back a lot. It introduced a lot of new stuff, a lot of new lore, like there's these special NPC Pokemon that are Pokemon we're familiar with, like Tangrowth and Pikachu and Smeargle, but they all look a little bit different, and that's it. Like, if you go to their website, it's just like, oh, Snorlax has a bit of moss on him now. It's like, okay, why? What does he do? I'm guessing because we've seen Tangrowth and a lot of Tangrowth. Tangrowth and these other NPCs will act as sort of like main characters. We've seen Tangrowth sort of taking on the role of the professor and the introduction to this game, which I think is really cool, because out of all the Pokemon, who would have thought Tangrowth would be suited for that role, but he actually kind of suits it really well. Looks really welcoming and goofy and perfect for how weird this game looks. It's not all good news though, because this game will be a game keycard, which, if you don't know, is essentially a physical copy of a game. Kind of, not really though, because even though it is a physical cartridge, once you put it on the Switch, that game acts as a key, an unlock, a sort of knock on the door to tell your Switch to, you have this game. And so the game isn't stored on that card, but the key is, therefore, you know, game keycard, and therefore, it's just a digital game, but it requires a cartridge, so it's kind of the worst from both worlds. It's not the goodness physical of being able to transport that game around, it's just something to take up space on a shelf, and at the same time, it's not stored on that, and it just takes up room on your internal memory or your SD card on the Switch. I think in that case, it does suck a lot. However, I will say, I think this whole thing of, you know, why do we need Wi-Fi? And all these people complaining like, oh, it should be, you know, playable out of the box. Like, I don't like how I have to update it or install it. You know, and need and require Wi-Fi. I think that argument falls a little bit more flat, at least compared to the first one of, you know, it wasting space. Because let's just be honest here, we all have Wi-Fi, right? Like, most Nintendo games, like, yeah, they'll function without an update, but most of them release with a launch day update that completes the game. And that's normally because most of these have online functionality, and yeah, like, you really gonna argue that you don't have Wi-Fi? I'm sure you do, but I do agree, overall it does suck. Like, give us the game physical, or at least like make it an eShop. I hate these game key cards. Most of the first party game on Switch are game key cards, and that sucks because they're pointless. Why am I going to a physical store to collect physical media that isn't physical media? It kind of just is dumb. But back to the trailer, it looks really promising, and I think we get to see a little bit more about what this game is about. When it first dropped, everyone was like, don't really get it. Is it like Minecraft? I don't know, like Stardew Valley, Dragon Quest Builders? And it actually seems to be a combination of all three, but I would say it leans more towards Minecraft, or at least decoration, kind of like Animal Crossing, where you can... Then again, yeah, Animal Crossing I think is what it's most like. It's like you have the villagers, but then you also have the craftability. Animal Crossing New Horizons specifically, because that game is all about decorating, and it's the same reason why a lot of people didn't like that game, at least compared to the other entries in the Animal Crossing franchise. But in terms of decoration, if you like decoration, this game looks really cool, and we got to see a little bit more of that in this trailer. The only thing about the game is that, to me, it just still looks so weird. Like, I like that, but at the same time, like, if I want to look at the camera as my character, I want to be playing as me. I want to be playing as a cool character, not this creepy one where I'm afraid to look at its dotted eyes for more than 5 seconds because it's just going to give me nightmares. Like, I don't know, something seems really eerie about the game, especially now that we see you can, like, turn entirely into other Pokemon like Lapras and Dragonite to navigate through the world. Kind of just seems a bit like terrifying. Like, that is not Dragonite, that is Ditto Dragonite, and I'm Dragonite now, and it's just strange. But I don't know, maybe that's what we need nowadays, a bit of weirdness. And like I said, with that longer development time as well, it's just nice to see Pokemon still sort of, you know, trying new things and innovating. We saw that with Legends Arceus, and Legends EA's, you know, I don't know what to say about Legends EA, because I like the game, I feel like the game's selling well, but you have that small voice on Twitter, and that's the thing, you have to remember this online voice is quite small. The majority of people are playing this game and enjoying it, but you have the small voice saying the windows are bad, therefore all the gameplay is bad. But initially, ZA was supposed to be built on what everyone loved, Legends Arceus, which took the Pokemon formula and changed it, and now this Ditto game changes it even more, and who knows, this could be the start of a new series called Pokemon Pokopia. Again, I think the name's dumb, but anyway. And of course the game has what makes every game with this so much better, crafting. Crafting just makes, like, for the most part, I believe crafting just makes games better. It's like such a cool game loop, and to have that in a Pokemon game, well, we did in Legends Arceus, and then they took it out of Legends EA. That kind of sucked, to be honest. But to bring it back in the Pokemon games is really cool, and I love how they're integrating different Pokemon. And Pokemon aren't just these creatures, you know, with different moves. I feel like that's how I see most Pokemon now. It's like, oh, that Pokemon has that move, and it's that type. But now it's more about the personality of the Pokemon, what they're capable of doing, kind of bringing them alive like the anime does. Like, oh, Bulbasaur, he has these, like, vines that can stretch, so you can use those to grow plants around the world, you know. So they're getting a bit more personal with the Pokemon, and I really like that. I also really like, as a side note, that they're not just sticking to exclusively Gen 1 Pokemon. They're actually using a lot more Pokemon from different generations. But also, I feel like fans can't complain if a Pokemon isn't in this game, because that's not what this is really about. It's more about you and how you tend to choose to, you know, change your world around you. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game. I think I'm going to purchase it, because at first I didn't think so. I thought this looks terrifying and so weird, and I know nothing about the game, but even that little teaser, even though it was like an 8-minute video, it still felt like a teaser. I still don't really know what the game's fully about, or what the, you know, if there's a story or not, or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope with that rumored development time that it's going to be really big and amazing. There's going to be a lot of effort, especially because it's not a solo dev game. Game Freak aren't the only ones in charge of this, and they've actually reached out finally for help. I actually wish, you know, they would do that with main series Pokemon games a little more, but, you know, not reach out to development companies like Ilka, where you just mess up the game entirely. So hopefully this is better, and now that Game Freak are also developing it, they get a better say and will stop that other development team from ruining the game like Ilka did with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Let me know, what do you think about the game? Did this new trailer, like, help you decide a little bit more on your purchase? Do you think it looks too weird? Not weird enough? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe, because that helps way more than you think it does. And thank you so much for watching.